My goodness, what a year 2020 has been so far. We're only just over halfway through it. First of all, there was the new virus, and then I found out about the new sovereign state. And today, after 7 days of searching because I was sure it existed, I found a new species. Well, that's not really true. I didn't find the new species, I found out about it. It all started when I watched the WEF. It was about the beginning of June, I think. And one of the guest speakers was Prince Charles. And while he kind of sounded like him, he didn't look like him. I thought it was Nigel Hawthorne. I had to go and rewind it just to make sure it was Prince Charles. And there was something odd about his eyes. So I reviewed the clip frame by frame, and I was right, there was something very odd about his eyes. They were just black holes, and I'm going to show you now in the images I kept. And this is the version of Prince Charles I'm talking about. He sounds a bit like him, but look at the hairline. It doesn't recede in the same way. His ears don't stick out. His mouth is wrong. His eyes don't wrinkle when he speaks, and the black holes, as you can see, are there. And I wasn't happy with just that still of him. I had to put it into photo forensics to have a real good look. Look at the eye, the black hole. A real eye doesn't look like that. I'll show you what a real eye looks like. So the next picture is of Prince Charles as I think he looks normally. And then look at Prince Charles' eye when I put him into photo forensics. You can see the light is going in. You can see the light in his eye, which is what a real eye looks like, which the other version of Charles doesn't have. It wasn't just his appearance on the WEF that I noticed the changes. It was on his interview with Sky News. I won't go through all the pictures I've analysed because they're very similar to what I've just shown you, but he was very, very different to how he looks in real life. And that's when I started to think, well, if it's not Prince Charles, then who or what is it? So that's when I started the search terms, like how do hologram people look? What do people look like against a green screen? And the last one I looked for, because I thought it was the least likely of the bunch, and that was a human robot. And this video is about what I found when I put those search terms into the patent search bar. This first image is the beginning of the description. I'm not going to read all of it out for several reasons. Number one, it's going to take me too long because I think there's 98 of them. And secondly, I don't want the bots to pick up what I'm saying because they'll match it with the patent and then probably remove the video. Now, I don't mind losing the channel, but what I want is for people to know about this. So here comes the first clip. I suggest you make a note of the patent number, and if you want to share it, please put it into an image and send it that way, because if you just send it as a hyperlink, then the censorship police will soon pick up on it, and that will be the end of that. Although this patent description starts off seemingly quite innocently, saying improve the quality of life and safety and security, we know from the title that it was never going to be that. I mean, human robots, a new species, come on, it's not right. This bit goes on to say the new species will autonomously work and move within close proximity with and among human beings. They can be everywhere. That alone is scary, but it goes on to get much worse. You will need to pause the clip to read it properly. Still on the introduction, this part just says all our lives are really busy, we have lots to do, so artificial intelligence will help us with the stress in our lives. It's hard to believe that they're actually talking about something that exists now. They've actually got the patent, and I expect they've got some roaming around already. I highly suspect This is why you're not allowed to talk about 5G in the same sentence or as the virus. And you'll see why I mention the virus as we go on. But because these autonomous beings need very, very good Wi-Fi and blockchain, then that's why they're pushing the 5G thing down our throats. This part's about if humans and or the robots wear virtual or augmented reality glasses, they can be in one place but also be in another place, for example on the moon. I'll read you the next bit. The human robot key novelties are in their superhuman machine qualities, such as their capabilities in understanding and communicating with every human sense, fly, dissociate its parts, compute way faster and move freely and better than any human being or animal. How frightening is that? Better than any human being. I'm going to risk reading you the next paragraph. It says, the HR Society represent the next generation of modern computer IoT. That stands for Internet of Things, which in short is when interrelated machines, or in fact anything technological, can transfer data over a network. So we've got computer, IoT, cloud, robotic, connectivity, communication, network and autonomous technologies all in one. HRs may be empowered with legs to walk, arms to hug, a brain to think, a skin to touch and breath, feel and self-charge and wings to fly. They can be superhumans with extraordinary connectivity and communication skills with the outside world. Sorry, I need new lenses. It's quite difficult to read. That's why I'm stumbling a bit. If I didn't tell you that with every point it gets more and more frightening than I should have, because this part tells us about how they can mimic every behaviour and coexist with its surroundings as everything, animals, us. They can even be part of the family, the community or the government. And they're actually described as supernatural. Here we're told how the human robots are expected to just become part of our society. They can be standardised and enhanced, this bit's funny, to protect our world. I did warn you it was scary. Although it is greatly inspired from existing creatures, and particularly the human race, an HR is not an HB clone nor a robot. It is a human robot with duties and rights, capabilities and limitations, human, animal-like feelings and emotions, which sets it apart from robotic manufacturing machines and qualifies it for a new species. An HR will aim though to learn and understand from all of its surroundings, to grow, survive, mature, and one day to pass the torch to another HR. The next couple of paragraphs are about the fact that they're on a mission that could change our society and, wait for it, our behaviour. This will all happen via a novel AI and ML. Haven't we heard novel before? Those techniques will make them intelligent, so it can do one job or it can multitask. They can even make us more reasonable. And they're even described as our better half. They're learning through 3 types of intelligence. It says it all there in the paragraph. In the next 3 clips, it goes on to say how they could change our world and push us further and help us to achieve more than we ever could on our own in a lifetime. HRs are not able to do the wrong thing, apparently. They also have 2 major benefits. One is to society in general, and the other is to industry and to the economy. In addition to this, they can also give us safety, security and peace. For example, they could become a politician or a lifeguard. They're programmed to keep us from harm. They can predict danger by monitoring our surroundings. the human robots can't hurt us. We're going to learn a bit more now about our better halves. You can give their services to a celebrity, a commoner, the handicapped, endangered animals, or planet Earth, to protect them all equally. HRs won't be armed, so they can't be shooting, but they can be programmed by police software or an app development team to use guns to train the workforce. So they're now in charge of the training. Crazy. Apparently they only act in self-defence. However, if there's a crime situation, they will try to neutralise the offenders and make the area safe again. And just in case they're first on scene, and remember, they don't carry guns, but they might shoot you with tasers from their fingers and have laser weapons or electromagnetic waves to disable a felon. And now we find out there's another type of HR in the shape of a bee that watches you, a surveillance HR. Now I know these aren't new. They had a dragonfly drone in the 1970s that did something similar, but obviously wasn't as technologically advanced. But come on, even the animals are going to be spying on us. I'm going to try and get a move on, so I'll only pick out the really important bits. Mind you, it's all important, isn't it? Right, there may be, you can get these HRs in groups. They can talk to each other, coordinate their movements. They use facial recognition to let people into authorised areas. They can do any job, and I mean literally any job. They have free movement and free mobility. They can make friends, they can love, they care for you, and they never want anything in return. They could be a teacher, a doctor, a psychologist that we all probably need after this. They look after you. They can experience and learn emotions. They're always learning. They learn from us. They have free communication, and they can teach us to adjust our own behaviour. They can even be a newscaster, a journalist, an artist, etc. When I read this, I immediately thought of Prince Charles. I'm pretty sure he's a robot. They can be an extension of us via their superhuman qualities. Now this worries me because they're actually talking about hardly any distinction between us and them. In fact, they're better than us. They've said that several times. They can interpret and explain things to us, and they know their rights. That's going to be interesting. They're going to be robot courts or something. They self-update. They won't do anything naughty or obscene, and they won't humiliate you. I wonder what would happen if you took an axe to it. The standard HR can be for the family, or it can be a governess as well, etc. Now this is the first time where we find out we have to buy them. At least we're not going to get one turn up on the doorstep with a note. They are an item you have to buy. No one can alter the HR, not even the manufacturer. If it's hacked, the HR will alert the authorities. This is worrying. They are described as being born rather than manufactured, although that is in brackets. But it's not just in this place. Further on, they're described as being born. So they're seen as humans. They have 3 layers to them. Spiritual. This is where it gets very, very disturbing. Sanity is in their spiritual layer. And so is DNA and face touch. This is when I said this all comes back to the virus. How do you think they've got hold of human DNA? Coronavirus testing, maybe? They can get even more if we all have the vaccine. Makes you think, doesn't it? They've got a subconscious layer that you can only access in debug mode. I'm nearly at the end now. I mean, I've left loads out. I can't possibly say it all, so it's up to you to go and have a look at the patent number yourselves and find out this horror. I sincerely hope that one of you comments and says, Lisa, it's just a joke site. It's not real, but I doubt that's going to happen. I feel I shouldn't have found it, and I definitely don't think I should be sharing it. I'll probably get bumped off now, but as I've only got a couple of years left anyway, I've got nothing to lose, so I'll just do one more bit and then I'll let you go and have sweet dreams. Right, the human robots, they use their basic and vital connectivity, communications, and its electromechanical system so it can stand, walk, talk, hear, see and smell. Yes, it can smell as well. It does everything that we can do. It has self-charge, self-control. It can evolve. That's worrying, isn't it? It can evolve just like... They're mixing AI with humans. And it's not in the future, it's happening now. They have two layers. The application layer, which programs it to do new tasks. And the learning layer, it learns from its environment. It's also got a sharing layer. It can share what it's learned with humans and with other human robots. It's got a spiritual layer, which is the most important. It contains its date of birth, they do call it birth, its origin, at least they don't say nationality, its DNA, that's so frightening, its creation record, its origin of birth, and get this one, its previous lives. So if you can't afford a new one, you can have one that's lived before with someone else. It doesn't have a religion, but it can be taught every single religion there is. They can wake up in time to go to work. It's got a subconscious layer where they can make decisions. If you have one and you're a different faith to your robot, over time it can maybe be convinced by you and change its religion. They've got free speech, which is what we don't have, and free will. And it's also got a moral code. They can speak for us in a way. They can say what they like without getting into trouble. And I didn't just make that up. That's what it says in the patent. But they won't get in trouble for it. They can even play team games. So one side you could have robots, one side humans. But they have the advantage because they can communicate through the network, through the Wi-Fi and blockchain network, to plan their next moves. So they'll win, won't they? They're very fast learners as well. As I said, they'll evolve. Oh, they want to mingle. They don't want to stand out. So they look attractive. They're normal height, normal weight. And this is interesting, considering what I said about Prince Charles. The eyes will change colour with temperature-controlled LEDs. I think I'm going to stop there now. As I said, I've left so much out. I've made other observations that I haven't added, like the dates the patent was submitted and the date the virus broke. I mean, it's all a coincidence. I sincerely think the virus was just an excuse to get our blood. They're going to make the vaccines mandatory. You can see it coming, because they've only got a certain number of DNA from those who have had the coronavirus test. So there's lots of us who haven't donated our DNA to the human robot project. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I've been at this for about 10 hours, so I'm going to go to bed now, but if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, if you want to share it, be my guest, but don't share the hyperlink. Put the patent number in an image and send it to your friends that way. Also, I don't think you'll find the patent number if you put it into Google or any other search bar. You have to put it into the patent bar, but not the Google one. Though I can't remember what it is now, I'm so tired. It's the one I put up at the beginning. It's called something, I can't remember. It's the red and white banner. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching, and don't have nightmares.